Render price update starting on the daily chart. We're going to look at high time frame targets, what we need to be holding as support in the days ahead, and the bullish things that we're seeing in the charts right now for Render. So let's jump right in. The daily chart, right? This move from lower Bollinger Band to upper, great move. We got through the 0.5 fib here, and we'll look at this in more detail as we zoom out. But very significant move because we just took out our high back here from September. Before that, we had a high, a higher high, and another higher high. At the same time, you're taking out your 0.5 fib. All good signs. So the daily chart looks great. Gaussian channel. Turn that on. We're still red here. We have the 200-day EMA in this pink. I know you can see it right at the top here. Right at the same time, it's right near the top of the Gaussian channel. So if we move back down, $6 is our level to hold. Okay, so that's very significant. We don't want to go back below that. Okay, now, having said that, let's zoom out to our 3-day chart where we're seeing some of the most bullish implications here. What do I mean by that? Well, look at this move here. If we put it on closing price, just a line chart, see this lower Bollinger Band tab right here on the close, and then immediately straight line right to the upper Bollinger Band. That's extremely bullish. If you do the opposite, it's extremely bearish. Let's go look at the last time we did that. You might say, what about here? No. Lower band tap, we didn't get there this time, right? Nothing. The last time we did any kind of immediate move is a long time ago. You got to go all the way back here. A lower to almost immediately up, right? That would be that wasn't even like a great argument, right? But look what came next. That's a pretty straight shot. Lower Bollinger Band, almost straight move right to the upper Bollinger Band. That was the last time. There is no other time here, right? You could argue on the bearish side, right back here at our local top here, right? A pierce outside with the lower wick. We went almost right to it, almost to the low, right? A lot of consolidation. You can see that right here, right? Bearish, lower high, consolidation, right? Very little subtle tips like this can start to open your horizons. Okay, so closing above the 0.5 fib on the 3-day chart is excellent. How about the Gaussian channel here on the 3-day? We're also making some very bullish things here. By definition, it's our first close on a 3-day chart above the median Gaussian channel. So you can see that fluorescent green because prices by definition start to turn more bullish in the upper half of this Gaussian channel. First time, bullish green candle. I mean, you got to go way back to May. That was the start of our downfall here. Major things happening. Slowly, then all at once. All of this stuff together is huge. The 0.5 fib recovery, the lower to upper Bollinger Band move, the break into the upper half of this Gaussian channel. Major things happening here, okay? Now, let's turn that off. Let's go out to the weekly. Again, the first upper Bollinger Band tap since our Pico top. The first time. All these other bullish candles didn't do nothing, right? Now we're here, 0.5 fib. Not only that, but look at this chart, right? We're right at the flip level. This is that line that we looked at on the daily chart to start us off with. Previous low support, wick, 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 3 weeks, right? Weekly candles, support, support, broken, flip to resistance, back down, still not able to recover right there, holding on that median Bollinger Band, right underneath this resistance of $7. Look where we are now. We're battling this very week for Render. Big things starting to turn, right? Sometimes it takes a while. I'm saying this week, maybe not next week. But I like our odds based on everything we've talked about so far. Not only that, but if we go out to the monthly, now you can start to get a clearer picture. Right? Look at this move from the start of the bull run. Render's paltry price of 40 cents to $14 top. Move back to the 21-month EMA in the yellow here. Support for 4 consecutive months. Now lifting back up. Look at the previous low support broken right here in July. Flip to resistance August, September, October. Fast forward to November. Render could be on the verge of another. All right, so A lot of bullish things happening for Render, right? We're on the horizon. Now, how high could Render possibly go? If you've watched this far, this is why you're watching this far, right? But we have a quote and card of the day coming up too, but we're looking at potential price tops for Render this cycle. The 1618 at 33, almost $34, right? Could we possibly get up there? Of course. It's a current about another 5x, 4.5, 5x, right? But you must remember, like it might not seem like we should be going farther than that, right? But you got to take into consideration what you've done already. Most coins last cycle, some of the best performers did about 20,000% or so, for the most part. Some of the top 5 average about that. So let's see what Render has done so far. 5,000%, great. Still of over 50x is what it's done already. To get up here, now we're looking at 12,000%, over 120x. Okay, so we could go a little bit higher than that, right? Potentially. Render's pretty important. AI backed, right? I think there's plausible case we could go higher. So what about this macro trend? What if we only did the Fibonacci from here? Now, if you're just wondering, what's the 2618, 140? Do I think we can get up there? That'd be pressed on our luck. It'd have to be like one of the best performers ever, which could happen. But you're looking at 51,000%. You're looking at a 500 plus X. It's possible, but unlikely in my book. So what could we look at somewhere between here? Before 140 and after 33. I'm glad you asked. So let's look at a Fibonacci from, how about our swing line? I don't necessarily like using opening candles. So even if we go from here, we'll do both. But let's go from our initial swing high to low, from our bear market, right? The 1618 here. It's lining up pretty damn close. If we go from the top candle, it's a little bit higher. So maybe we go with that. So how about instead of a definitive line, and remember, Fibonacci's are areas of interest at best case, right? They shouldn't be taken like set in stone or anything. But let's say we get up to 35, 40, 45, 50. It's probably in your best interest to at least start thinking about taking some profits, or at least putting in some stop losses just in case. Now, context with the rest of the cycle, of course, we want to see what Bitcoin's doing when we get up here. We want to see how the market sentiment is, right? We do a pretty good job of covering all that on a daily basis in our Patreon private Telegram alerts group. So if you want to stay up to date and not miss out on all that good stuff, I suggest checking that out. So this is the zone for Render, in my opinion, 33 to 50 area. I think we have a legit shot to get up there. I'd be more shocked if we didn't get up in this zone by the time is all said and done, as well as Render has done. You want to be looking at coins, Render included, in my opinion. You want to be looking at coins that had strong movements from 2023 to 2024. Coins that haven't done anything will likely continue to not do much. Coins that did very well will likely continue to do very well when our alt season rolls around in the next handful of weeks to months. I think Render's included. And, you know, let's look at this, right? How about from the lows here when we started the bull run in January of 2023, right? This was the start. We did a 35x. Pretty great, right? How about now? What if we go from the lows here? What would we need? We'd only need a 10x from the lows to get up to this level. 10 to potentially 13x, 14x away. Doable. This move, right? 9, 10x. We're looking at a copy paste of that. Why couldn't that happen? 9, 10x right here. 9, 10x right here. Easily doable. Could we go higher? Sure. Could we get up to 100? I don't know, right? Best case, right? This is all TA is useful for, really, is to kind of get odds on your side. Well, we have 2 Fibonacci levels, and really, like if you go from the second opening candle, they're both at 33. You can't make this stuff up, folks. If we get up to the $30 level for Render, and you're in profit, like remember the warning signals were there if you're not taking profits here, okay? So we'll do our best to track this. Render, great coin. I own some Render. Hopefully you own some Render. I assume if you're watching this long, you have some Render. So we'll keep tracking this week over week. But if you want more one-on-one help, consider subscribing through our Patreon link. That is Render updated. Let's get to our quote of the day. Maybe. Real riches are the riches possessed inside. Reminds me of like people that are ugly and say that real beauty's on the inside. Sounds like something poor people would say, but or really rich people, right? Rich people don't worry about money. Money's not everything. Said by people that have money. All right, Viper, car of the day. Let's get the picture out of here, folks. Let's focus on the cars now. Red on black. That's a pretty good color combo. Looks pretty good there. Do we have another one? I think we have the rear picture. There you go. Different cars. Both Vipers. But looks pretty good. Pretty good specs. All right. We'll end it there. I'm back. Questions, comments, thoughts. What do you think? How high will Render go? What have you heard? Has any other influencer said $3,000 for Render? I'm sure the wild predictions will come out as we get into mania phase, euphoria phase for crypto again. But the maths says 30 to 50 for good old Render there. Don't be the exit liquidity.